we've been filming with Paul, who is a full-time carer for his adult disabled son. He is really worried about energy bills going up in July. Why are you waiting till winter to help people when they feel desperate now?
Yeah, well, what I would say to Paul is...
Shut the hell up. I don't care.
I'm as a real can get. What you see?
Buongiorno freaks and geeks, welcome back to the channel. So it would seem while the rest of the Labour Party is trying to figure out who will be the new leader and thus the next Prime Minister, the government of this country is still deciding to place tiny little plasters on big gaping wounds. I guess that's something, at least. So Channel 4 caught up with Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, because she has decided to flick crumbs from her table to help the poorest families out this summer. So let's get straight into that video, but before we do, please don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe, and tell me down below which piece of government policy do you think has most helped out the most vulnerable in this country.
The Chancellor says her summer savings will help people take a break from the cost of living, even if it's just for a day.
I mean, what an opener. Imagine being the Chancellor of the Exchequer for the 5th largest economy on the planet, over 4 trillion in GDP, and all you want to do for the most poorest people in this country is give them just a day's break from the abject misery which is their everyday life. I mean, talk about thinking big.
Paul Ridley from Milton Keynes can't afford a day out. He hasn't had a holiday in decades. He's a carer for his son Keith, filmed here 4 years ago. He's non-verbal, autistic and has epilepsy. The seizures cause incontinence. Paul was up twice last night changing the sheets.
It's on about 5 times a day, and especially in the winter when you've got to dry it, you've then got to put the tumble on.
All the extra washes and extra baths mean Paul's gas and electricity bill is over £200 a month.
Wowzers. Washing stuff 5 times a day. I can barely wash stuff every 3 weeks. I mean, kudos to this man, not only for being able to do that, but obviously being the main carer for his disabled son for, it seems like, quite a while now. These are exactly the people who I'm talking about, who aren't necessarily the poorest of us, but are doing the stuff for the most vulnerable. I mean, I'm guessing he is, if he's not an unpaid carer, I can't imagine he's making a mint out of caring for his son. But even so, this is a man with slightly more financial means than others. So can you imagine what is happening in our inner cities where the level of poverty is through the roof?
I've gone without food before in the past. Well, I'll go without anything to provide for my sons, but there's going to become a time that, it's just going to reach breaking point.
I beg your finest pardon. I mean, you've already admitted that you've gone without food in the past. If that's not breaking point, whatever next? Are you going to go weeks without food? Are you not even able to access water to drink? I'm not understanding what he believes breaking point is because, sir, by my definition, you are truly and firmly in the middle of it. And it doesn't feel like this government gives a damn about rectifying the problem you find yourself in. All they care about is... Actually, what do they care about? Oh yeah, they care about what our economy looks like, whether it is expanding or contracting. And when I say our economy is expanding, doesn't mean it's expanding for the poorest. It just means that, you know, the richest people get a bit more interest inside of their account that month. That's all they care about. Oh yeah, and the fact that they are the 5th biggest economy on the planet. That's all they care about. Imagine being the 5th biggest economy on the planet and you have a man on national news saying that he has to go without food just so his children can survive. Golly.
And he's worried that point is soon. Next week, the energy regulator Ofgem will break the news of the next price cap. The war in Iran means the slightly lower bills we've paid this spring won't last.
Well, it's not just a war in Iran, it's a illegal act of aggression by America and Israel on Iran. In fact, Iran are the victims here. They are only defending themselves. So, yeah, just want to correct that framing a bit.
Under Ofgem's current cap, a typical gas and electricity bill is £1,641. One energy consultancy predicts that in July that cap will jump around 13% to £1,850, an increase of more than £200 a year on average bills.
Guys, what are we doing? For the most ordinary person, going up by £20 a year is, yeah, the straw that broke the camel's back. Imagine going up by £200, like, aye. And this is where we get the bit about the government's response. Let's see what magical trinkets they have for us.
But notably absent from the Chancellor's announcements today, any concrete help with people's energy bills.
We stand ready to act if market conditions worsen significantly later this year. And I have been leading cross-government contingency work on design of potential future targeted and temporary support.
What an unlikable buffoon. If I can see, without being in the government, that things are definitely going to get worse in this country because of their illegal acts of aggression on Iran and their response by blocking the Straits of Hormuz, why the hell can't this gender-swapped Keir Starmer see it? I mean, where is their imagination? Where is the foresight? Why is it only worry about the market? And when she's worrying about the market, all she cares about is whether shareholders get their nut that month. Also, she used the word temporary, meaning that there's not going to be a permanent fix, just this smaller and smaller plaster or band-aid. These people are morally redundant.
The announcements today that have been made, really, nothing. Nothing's changed. I'm still sitting here the same as I was yesterday.
The government will say, we didn't know this war was going to happen, you know, it wasn't a war we chose, and we don't have much cash in the bank.
What does that even mean? You don't have much cash in the bank? Are you me? I don't have much cash in the bank, but guess what I don't have? A money printing machine, and I don't have the fifth biggest economy in my control. What do you mean you don't have cash in the bank? Please explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Jesus Christ.
I wouldn't want to be in a position, don't get me wrong, but they're not laying there every night thinking, well, I've got a bill coming this week. This is 2026, not Charles Dickens era. I mean, I'm expecting to go out with a bowl and go, please, ma'am, can I have some more? That's what it feels like.
What is on offer is money off summer days out and kids' meals via a temporary VAT cut. And in England, free bus travel for children in August.
Fantastic, children. You don't have to starve at home. You can starve up the road. And I know in that little segment they spoke about money off kids' meals, but that's not free school meals like they would have if they were continuing to go to school during the summer holidays. It's just money off. That isn't enough. And what public attractions are you going to give them discounted prices on as well? And if you do give them discounted prices at all the same attractions, doesn't that mean that these people just spend the majority of the day lining up to go on the rides? Meaning, I don't know if they will have the great time you expected them to have. Just something to think about, I guess. Golly.
And this is just one of the things that we are doing to help people with the cost of living in these uncertain times.
The Conservatives say these are minor savings and will be little comfort to families hit by inflation.
Buddy, I don't think the Conservatives can speak at all. You had 14 years in government and all you had to show for it was killing disabled people by the thousands. Don't try and act like you care about the most vulnerable families in this country right now by saying this isn't enough. Are you going to act like you're to the left of this current Labour Party or current Labour government, which to be honest would be easy to do, but this Conservative Party is worrying about tussling reform for the right wing or the far right of this country. So yeah, spare me your reservations, Conservatives.
But at the bus station in Northampton, people said they appreciated the gesture.
Again, even Channel 4 News calling it a gesture. Gestures don't make for a better life. They are simply gestures, tokens, meaningless and empty. We want permanent reform, radical change. We don't want... I thought that's what this government is portraying itself as being elected for in 2024. Radical change, not temporary gestures. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys.
It's good idea because the way we are living now, every household is struggling. Little help is something.
It would definitely make a difference because I know plenty of people that, again, are on benefits and things like that that can't actually afford to take their children out because they're past that threshold of being able to get on the bus for free.
It's good for children to get on the bus for free, so especially in the holidays when they're off school, they're not just sat in a house, or they can actually go out and do family days out.
The government says it wants families to be able to spend more time together, but it knows many fear their energy and food bills are just going to go up and up.
And of course, being the current government, we are powerless to ensure your energy and gas bills don't go up and up. Instead, we're going to give you free bus travel. Does that mean they're going to put more buses on? Because that is another hurdle to giving everyone free bus travel. You got to have a functioning bus system. And as far as I'm aware, most bus routes are privately owned. So how about saying how you're going to fix that? And you know what, I get it, the people they spoke to in that report, of course they're going to welcome anything, any crumbs that you flick off the table, but I'm here to say it's nowhere near enough, guys. This economy currently generates over 4 trillion. Obviously most of it extracted from the global south, but still they're stealing from even poorer people in the global south and not even sharing it with the people here. So excuse me if I'm not jumping for joy.
Well, earlier, our economics editor, Helia Ebrahimi, caught up with the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, to ask her about the cost of living plan and the turmoil at the top of the Labour Party.
Given the scale of the cost of living crisis, today's measures, which amount to about £300 million a year in a £3 trillion economy, they're not going to solve the cost of living crisis, are they?
I want to make summer a little bit easier for families this year, especially given everything that's going on in the world. And I also want to give a bit of extra help to the hospitality and leisure sector, who have also been struggling for a while now. And so this summer, we're taking VAT on kids' activities and also children's meals in restaurants and cafes, etc., down from 20% to 5% to help with the cost of living.
Oh my God, the policy is even worse than I thought. Restaurants and cafes. Again, are you going to build more restaurants and cafes to deal with the obvious increase in demand? Oh yeah, I forgot it's only for this summer period. I mean, guys, how is this even seen as a win anymore? Oh, for 6 weeks, everyone, we're going to slash VAT by 15% for children in this country. Oh, in the existing cafes and restaurants in areas where a lot of them have closed down, don't worry about it. I mean, what? This is the best they could do. This is the best they could think of. Given, and I know the correspondent said that it was 3 trillion size economy, but I've read that it's 4 trillion. So it's between actually forget that. 3 trillion is still massive, and it's still the 5th largest economy on the planet, only beaten out by America, China, Germany, and Japan, I think. But yeah, and then comes the United Kingdom. So what are we even squabbling over right now. This is basically pennies. Who's even going to notice this? And I guarantee you it won't be, like, families won't be able to utilize it. It is literally the most gesture you could ever think of.
We've been filming with Paul, who is a full-time carer for his adult disabled son. He is really worried about energy bills going up in July. Why are you waiting till winter to help people when they feel desperate now?
Yeah. Well, what I would say to Paul is...
Shut the hell up. I don't care.
Well, what I would say to Paul is that I hope a number of things that I've announced today, and indeed that I announced in the budget last year, will have a positive impact on him and his family.
Could you do more?
Paul has, and I don't know whether the correspondent articulated this to Rachel, Paul has a disabled son who at the moment requires his clothes being washed 5 times a day because of his epilepsy has left him incontinent. How has 15% discount on VAT for kids meal, whose Paul's child's not even a child anymore, but yeah, 15% discount on theme parks and restaurants and cafes, how's that ever going to help Paul? Tell me right now. And why wasn't that posed to Rachel? I mean, golly, are we even trying anymore as a country? How are we allowing our people, our government, the second most powerful person in this country get away with some fluff answer like this?
Could you do more?
Well, we are taking action, but I have to also be responsible in the national interest. I've always said, both when I was Shadow Chancellor and the last 2 years as Chancellor, that we have to explain where the money's going to come from. What happened when Liz Truss was Prime Minister and Kwasi Kwarteng was Chancellor, where they spent huge amounts of money, cut taxes, and as a result, inflation went through the roof, interest rates went through the roof, and we've now got so much debt that eventually we have to repay.
So yeah, she could do more, but she just doesn't want to, essentially. Sorry, Paul, we don't care about you and your individual situation. We have a global image to uphold. We gotta show the world that we are good with our old finances, you know, the made up numbers on a computer and all this debt we have to pay back and all this other crap. Oh my goodness. A country that can print its own money, everyone. Yeah. It's hard to stay positive when the people at the top are performing like this. Yeah. We just need a change. Okay? We're not asking for too much, just some creativity, just something to show you care about the poorest in this country and not this mythical creature of balancing the books. No one cares about you balancing the books. You're not the Chancellor of the Exchequer of a normal household. You are the Chancellor of the Exchequer of a country that can print its own money. Why are you telling me about balancing your books? Ah, gosh.
And let's turn to politics. You're here with the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Does he still have your support? Would you like to see him stay on as Prime Minister?
Yes, he absolutely has my support. And he's the Prime Minister that has made the right decision on the conflict in the Middle East.
Which conflict? Because he definitely didn't make the right decision when Israel committed a genocide in Gaza. So are we talking about Israel and America's illegal act of aggression on Iran? And what would that decision be? I mean, he still allowed America to use UK bases to refuel and rearm. Like, are you talking about the fact that we just didn't send jets there? Oh yeah, let's not forget that they also shared intelligence of what was happening on the ground in the Middle East. So yeah, come on guys.
He was asked to get British troops and our country involved in that war, and he rightly said no. That's probably the biggest judgment that any Prime Minister ever has to make, and he took the right judgment in the national
What
interest.
happens if Andy Burnham's leadership campaign is successful? Would you like to be his Chancellor?
Well, look, that is a real hypothetical question. There's a by-election going on in Makerfield at the moment. It's a tough by-election.
That there isn't a leadership challenge going on. For your job, Chancellor, do you want to deliver the next budget? Do you still want to be Chancellor?
Absolutely, I'm continuing with my job as Chancellor, and even during times of global turbulence and turmoil sometimes here at home, I'm getting on with the job.
So Rachel Reeves isn't going anywhere?
I'm getting on with the job that people rightly expect me to do, which is to grow the economy, to tackle the cost of living challenges and make people in our country better off. And the numbers in the last couple of weeks, inflation down, growth up.
Growth for who? Who benefits from that growth? Is it you and me? Is it working class people? Working people. People have to get up every single morning, go and do long hours and come back and barely eat in the evening. Are those people who benefit from growth? Or is it the chief executives, those people on the, I don't know, that can float stocks on the exchange? Is that where it is? Stock exchange? I don't know. I'm not a money person, but is those the people who actually benefit from growth? I mean, is her voice real? I don't understand. Like, that can't be her real voice. It feels something that was curated by a focus group or something. She does not seem real. Or her and Sir Keir Rodney Starmer were generated from the same lab. That's what it feels like. It's so jarring, and it actually takes me out of the moment very much. Like, I can hardly focus.
Growth forecasts up show that we have the right plan for our economy and our country.
And can I ask you about yesterday? Because there was a man heckling you for 10 minutes. Were you surprised when Nigel Farage praised him, offered him a beer? What does it say about discourse in British politics?
To be honest, I don't really care if politicians get heckled. Like, they are elected officials. Like, if you can't take a bit of, heckling, maybe you shouldn't be in control of the 5th biggest economy on the planet. Yeah, who cares? Like, she got heckled. Obviously, I probably wouldn't agree with why that person heckled her. I think we have very different political views, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm sad that Rachel Reeves got heckled when the best she could do for poor working class families this summer is take 15% off the VAT for amusement park entrances and food at restaurants and cafes. That's the extent of her imagination. I have to keep telling you this because I cannot believe it. Also, she's standing right here wearing a blue suit. Are you being serious right now? Golly, if she isn't the definition of blue Labour, I don't know what is.
Well, I was brought up by my mum and dad to always treat people with courtesy and respect, even if I disagree with their opinions, and that is something I've tried to pass on to my own children as well.
Yeah, I should treat you with decency and respect if you back a genocide in Gaza. Yeah, those are reasonable disagreements to have, and just because you think it's okay for Israel to do that, I shouldn't be able to heckle you. Now, obviously, that man in the petrol station heckled her for something else, but no, I don't believe in this respectability politics at all. You are playing with people's lives. You should take a little heckling, for crying out loud.
And I don't like it when people get aggressive and start shouting. I don't think it's the way to conduct public debate. And in fact, I think that our politics would be a lot better if people had civil debate rather than resorting to shouting. And the idea that it is somehow, you're somehow a patriot just because you've got a flag in your van, but then you scream and shout at people on the street, that doesn't make you a patriot. What makes you as a patriot is loving this country and treating other people in our country with respect.
Buddy, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? why are we doing this? Like, am I crazy, or is the rest of the world crazy? This cannot, like, did she think she was cooking with that? I mean, I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I mean, that makes you a patriot. You know, not lifting the most vulnerable in this country out of abject poverty, but, you know, a bit of decency and respect. That's where real patriots get their strength from.
Would you like to see the Speaker say something about it?
No, I don't need anyone to stick up for me. I'm quite capable of sticking up for myself.
Thank you very much, Chancellor.
Thank you.
Yeah, we saw how you stuck up for yourself.
I love our country. I love our country. I love our country. And one of the things about our country is good manners. It's not very British.
I wasn't impressed, but maybe others were. And yeah, but why would the Speaker need to? So these are all adults, by the way, and he was shouting this individual in the petrol station. We didn't try and attack her. I mean, we are trying to, and again, I completely don't, or I imagine I completely disagree with the politics of that person in that van with his British flag and who was heckling Rachel Reeves. But we're going to say this guy is worse than this government backing a genocide. Also, this government allowed the United States to use their army bases to refuel and rearm to go and bomb Iran in an illegal act of aggression. But yeah, we should be somehow disappointed in the man in the van while the Chancellor of the Exchequer is there. Yeah, cool, guys. Anyway, what did you think? Personally, I don't think it's enough at all. Between 3 and 4 trillion size economy, the best this government could do is spend 300 million this summer to help the most vulnerable families to go and access amusement parks. As I've keep on mentioning, they're not going to make more amusement parks so they can go and access restaurants and cafes. They're not going to make any more cafes and restaurants, so demand is not going to be met by supply. Yeah, I don't think, I will refuse to think it's enough. And also 300 million for this summer, that's a, what's it called? That's a financial error on a spreadsheet. Like, this government's not even going to notice 300 million gone, and they want us to be tap dancing because they decided to do that. It is immoral. It is absolutely a failure, and they really need to look at themselves if they think we should be grateful for this small act of mercy. Anyway, if you've made it up to this point, thank you. I really appreciate the support. If you like audiobooks, I voiced one on spotting red flags in relationships, link in the description below. And remember, once we understand politics, we will make better decisions. Don't forget to hit the buttons for like, subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon. Ciao.